What you are about to see is an animated demonstration of how to drive 4 screws into the ceiling, with proper gaps between each screw head and the bottom of the ceiling. This is a one-time installation task to allow easy and unlimited times to place and remove our DriHi system on an as-needed basis. When you receive the package, it will include 2 brackets, an 8-foot clothesline terminated with a turnbuckle on one side and a loop on the other. It will also include a plastic gap guide, a user guide, and the 4 screws with color-painted heads. The tools you will need are a ladder, an electric drill with 5/32 inch bit, a Phillips screwdriver, and a magnetic stud finder, which will work for locating a joist as well. It is extremely important to note that you must first locate a joist in your ceiling in order to firmly install the 2 screws for each bracket. If your ceiling is anything other than drywall and wooden joist over the ceiling, please specify on our website during the order, or contact us to provide you with the appropriate hardware. Please note that this one-time installation task may require an individual with some skills for locating the joist, and experience with the use of a screwdriver and an electric drill. In this section, we will explain and demonstrate how to install a single screw for each bracket, assuming the ceiling joist has been located and properly marked with pencil, at least 8 feet apart, along the length of the joist. For the first bracket, make a new pencil mark in the ceiling where the joist was previously located and marked. The second bracket will be placed about 8 feet to the right of the first bracket. Next, using an electric drill with a 5/32 inch bit, drill a pilot hole through the ceiling and into the joist, about an inch in depth. Then, using a Phillips screwdriver, partially drive a screw into the pilot hole. Once you have the first screw partially in place, unroll the included clothesline, grab the loop on the turnbuckle side and hook it over the screw. Then, firmly stretch the full line across the ceiling, and pencil mark the ceiling inside the other loop of the clothesline, as shown. Make sure to stay close to the center of the previously identified joist. Now, after you remove the clothesline, drill a pilot hole in that mark. Using the screwdriver, you are ready to partially screw the second white-headed screw into the pilot hole. The following is the last step in the screws installation. The blue gap guide, shown in this demonstration, will be used to guide you through the installation of the remaining screw for each bracket, specifically, the distance between them, and the required gap between the screw head and the ceiling. Now, take the gap guide and slide the left notch over the first screw, as shown. Then, using the screwdriver, tighten up the screw, so the gap guide ends up slightly snug, flush to the ceiling so it can be easily removed or turned. Then, make sure to adjust the gap guide, so it ends up parallel with the joist. Once properly positioned, use the electric drill to make a new pilot hole in the place of the right notch of the gap guide. When done, use the screwdriver to screw in the white-headed screw so the guide gap ends up flush and snug to the ceiling. By removing the gap guide, this will complete the proper installation of the first set of screws. Then, simply repeat the same steps to complete the installation of the other set of screws to the right, as shown. This concludes the demonstration of how to install 4 screws with the proper distance and gap between the ceiling and screw head. Please note that the screw heads are shipped pre-painted, which may not match the color of your ceiling. If you wish to match the screw head's color with the ceiling, so they are not noticeable when brackets are removed, simply paint them with a tiny paintbrush.